What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. We have a new update regarding the Goran Dragic situation in Toronto. He's obviously not playing for the Raptors, and we're getting closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline, and we're going to hear more about him and the latest news regarding Goran Dragic, which was, according to Jake Fisher on Twitter, is that Goran Dragic's name has been discussed in a potential swap for Danilo Gallinari of the Hawks. Now, Danilo Gallinari, we heard a few days ago, being linked to the Raptors, but that wasn't the only news we got regarding Goran Dragic this morning. Another news was that Toronto and Indiana have discussed a trade regarding Goran Dragic and a first-round pick for Miles Turner, which is very interesting because as soon as the Indiana Pacers did announce they are trading one or both of their big men, instantly Miles Turner was being linked to the Raptors as well. So it seems like there's some interest from the Raptors and there. So I'm going to break both of these potential deals down and these players and what the Raptors could get and how they would impact the Raptors. So if you're ready to watch this video, make sure to hit the like button as it does help get this video out a lot more. And if you want to hit the subscribe button for the latest Raptors content, that'd be awesome as well. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel. And for today's video, the shout out goes out to Amandeep Gaur. So Amandeep, thank you so much for supporting this channel with your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now let's talk about Goran Dragic, because I know Goran Dragic, and when you talk about what you can realistically get back for him, Danilo Gallinari isn't a name that attracts a lot of, that's not a sexy name. Let's be honest. It's not one you think, wow, that's going to really help the Raptors, but I will get to that in just a second. But we do need to take into consideration that it's better to get something back for Goran Dragic rather than just buy him out, because this is the news being reported by NBA Central is people around the league have assumed that situation will end in a buyout. If and when it does, the Mavericks might be the favorites and maybe the Bucks among others to sign him. So look, I know Danilo Gallinari isn't the most attractive of names when we talk about what the Raptors should get back, but we also do need to realize I don't want to buy him out. I'm genuinely being very honest. But when we talk about Danilo Gallinari, I know people are going to say, well, he makes a lot of money, and he does. He does. He's making $20.4 million this season, and we're actually locked into his contract until next season, $21.4 million as well. But hear me out, guys. Before we say that is a lot of money, and I absolutely agree, that is a ridiculous amount of money for Danilo Gallinari. And I'm okay with this because the Raptors don't have a lot of cap space heading into this year's free agency. And let's be honest, guys, we have had our struggles of signing free agents. So you get Danilo Gallinari, you get a decent bench piece, and we know the Raptors desperately need that. And also take into consideration, besides our starting five as of currently, we got Scotty, OG, Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet, Pascal. We don't have a lot of guys making money. So if it doesn't work out this season or early next season, we can always flip Danilo Gallinari next season as well for some other pieces or include him in a bigger deal to acquire a better player. But the reason I say this deal is not as bad is because when his contract comes up, we're going to have guys like Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. heading into free agency. So we'll free up that cap space of his. And essentially, you're hoping if not the Phoenix Suns, but if the Atlanta Hawks do make that trade, you'll likely think they would have to give up some sort of compensation to the Raptors for taking on that contract. And of course, Goran Dragic's contract is expiring there. So potentially maybe a second round pick, maybe another player, who knows. But I want to talk about Danilo Gallinari here because I know a lot of people look at his name, and I get it, guys. I'm not very fond of acquiring Danilo Gallinari given the money he's making. He's listed at 6'10", I believe around 230 pounds. So he gives you a lot of size. But when you talk about his point production, he's playing about 23.2 minutes. 10.3 points isn't the greatest, let's be honest. But he's a few seasons removed from averaging 18.7 points with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I understand that he was the main focal point of their offense there. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery, right? I'm not saying he's going to give you 20 points a game or even 15 points a game. I think the Raptors desperately need that bench player that can consistently shoot the ball, which is what he's giving you. Look at that three-point percentage. 38.7% is amazing from the three-point line. That'd be one of the best on the Raptors. So I know his field goal percentage overall isn't the greatest, but take a few things into consideration before we jump on this deal and we're going to say, well, he's not the greatest of fit with the Raptors. We know he's not a great defensive player, but having someone the size of a 6'10", 230 pounds is huge. We get another big person in there, and I know he's listed as small forward, power forward. You can mix and match him with Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes. So I'm intrigued by the lineup, and the most important thing here is he not only fits the need of 3-point shooting, but look at that free throw percentage as well. And that's not just this season. Throughout his career, he's consistently shot in the 90s or late 80s. He's shooting 91.8% from the free throw line. So you can essentially play him in late game situations where you're worried about missing free throws. So I'm okay with that. Again, it's not the most attractive name, and I know others would have realistically liked to, acquire a much, much better player. But given the circumstances, he's not too bad of a deal. Now let's talk about Miles Turner here. Now Miles Turner is an interesting player. There's been a lot of Raptors fans that have been on the bandwagon. I shouldn't say bandwagon, that have been on the deal of getting Miles Turner to the Raptors, and there have been some that are not too particularly high on Miles Turner. Now, we do have to take into consideration before we jump on the idea of acquiring Miles Turner, he does have that foot injury, and I've always emphasized having foot or any sort of ankle or knee injuries on big man is not something you really want. It can linger into their career, and I know he's very young, but still, he's only got one more year on his contract. So again, it's a similar situation in the sense that you're not going to have him for longer than next season. And if you decide you want to move him, he's got that salary, right? You can attach someone else to him, and potentially, I'm not suggesting you actually do, but maybe if you look to acquire a star player, I think it's not too far-fetched to say Miles Turner's contract can be included in there as well. He's very young, 26 years old, and his contract comes up again when we have our main guys' contracts expiring, right? So I think that's the big deal we do have to take into consideration. And when we talk about his statistics, I know a lot of people say he's lazy, but when you take a look at those blocks, guys, he's still giving you blocks. I know statistics can be deceiving. Again, I'm not against the idea or for the idea of trading for Miles Turner. I mean, I'm not Masai Ujiri and I'm not Nick Nurse. I don't know how they'll use him. But the big question always becomes, when you do acquire someone like a Miles Turner, where do you place him in the starting lineup? Because we know you're not going to acquire Miles Turner and have him come off the bench. We already have Precious Achiuwa and Kem Birch for that, and Chris Boucher as well, assuming one of those guys does not go back in a deal for Miles Turner. But he's giving you some good statistics, right? 12.9 points isn't the greatest, but his blocks are great, and his 3-point percentage is good because the Raptors need someone who can shoot the 3 ball as well. So those are two needs he fits with the Raptors, but the big question is always going to be, how are they going to incorporate him into the starting lineup? And who are they going to move to the bench is the big question. So that's personally my take on Miles Turner and what you would do in terms of our starting lineup, and just giving up a first round pick. I'm okay with that. I genuinely am. But again, the thing that really gets me is that he's only on our books for another season. So not very long term. So we'll have to wait and see what the Raptors would include in a contract for Miles Turner. We obviously have heard that a lot of NBA teams are interested in him. But I do want to ask you guys, what do you guys make of these latest rumors? Who would you rather have the Raptors acquire? I think it's fairly safe to say, even though a lot of people may not like Miles Turner, he would be the safe bet. But what do you guys think of these rumors? Would you do a Goran Dragic and Danilo Gallinari swap with the Atlanta Hawks? And what would you expect as a little bit of a compensation for taking on Danilo Gallinari's contract and essentially giving up more caps, or giving up the Atlanta Hawks more free cap space? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I do have a trivia question for you guys today. And that trivia question is, how many teams has Goran Dragic played for? Is it A3? Is it B4? Is it C5? Or is it D6 teams? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I do want to hear from you guys. Make sure to leave your comments make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and you can follow me on social media as well. My Instagram is the Warch Report, Twitter is Warcha. I usually like to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.